This is Quark's love child.
Oh, what a way to start a live show.
In the description, it does say it's a hollow point. It goes all the way through.
Yeah, well, because he's doing it at an angle. Trust me, the video is coming. You guys stay tuned.
Yeah, I know Clark's watching the Packers game, so there's no way he's watching live. This
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
Seattle's up 17-10, by the way.
Clark's love
It's
child.
all fantasy, baby. It's all fantasy. I got Aaron Rodgers and Marshawn Lynch, so I got them on both sides getting me points here.
All right.
Aaron Rodgers ain't getting me
I'm
many.
going to go take a leak and have a cigarette.
All right. Well,
I'm doing that as we speak.
I'm gonna go walk the dog and leave Stone Guy all by himself.
all right, well, let's tighten this up a little bit because we got to do introductions. From my left, we've got July 25th, maybe.
It's empty chair number 1.
Yep. There we go, and we got Jacob.
What's up?
Got the Tac Daddy.
What's going on, everybody?
And we got Tactical Six String.
Yo.
And Mr. Sully.
He's smoking.
And we've got Tim from Tactical Walls.
Also absent.
And he's gone too. Alright, everybody's leaving. Perfect. And you are tuned in to Stone Guy 223, the Tac Daddy After Show. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
If I may, you missed the most entertaining 10 minutes of non-show in a very long time. That lead up to going live was excellent.
Right. So, for everybody that's going to watch this later, maybe watch Tac Daddy and tuned in here. Here's the deal. I challenge you, people.
Oh, here it comes.
Go to your local hardware store.
Oh, no.
Get a 5-gallon painter's bucket.
Oh.
Okay, just a typical little 5-gallon bucket. Fill it full of water. Now the trick is, you have to shoot directly straight down into it. You don't have to be up on anything high unless you want to keep from getting splattered with a ton of water, but you could just stand there, but the angle's got to be straight down into it. And I guarantee you, with a hollow point, that projectile will just blossom, open up, perfect. You'll find it in the bottom of the bucket. Will not penetrate the bottom of the bucket. And these guys just think I'm full of shit. They call me out. They go searching YouTube and they find this poor kid.
The name of the video is 9mm into a bucket of water.
So this poor guy,
Fun with guns.
who doesn't even look old enough to be holding a 9mm, shoots at a pretty steep angle, like he's like almost sideways shooting into this bucket of water, and it just goes right through the bucket and the water's pouring
Look how
out.
he smiles and shakes his head at the camera afterwards. It's pretty funny.
So we're gonna show this kid some love. The channel name is Fun with Guns. He's only got 2 subscribers.
Not anymore. Now he's got 3.
So we're gonna show this kid some love and go check out this video of him shooting into a bucket, and then I might be able to do it this weekend. Within the next couple days, I will show you the proper way to shoot a pistol caliber round into a bucket of water.
I can't wait.
And then you can have the kid as a special guest next week.
That's a good idea.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Fun with Guns, we're calling you, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to message him right now.
All right. So real quick, though, there was a few things I wanted to ask Tim that we didn't cover real quick, if you don't mind, so that everybody that's not familiar with Tactical Walls, it's a fantastic idea.
I just put my headphones back when I was gone for a very long time. I don't know.
Oh, no, I just started. So
Didn't
that's
say it, yep.
So I was
Okay.
just telling, for everybody that missed it or maybe didn't see it, I wanted to go over a couple things I didn't get a chance to ask you in the Tac Daddy show. But so if you could tell everybody again, to be redundant, but tell everybody again what Tactical Walls is, and then I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Sure. All right. Well, tactical walls are, we make furniture, mirrors, shelves, and soon to be other items for placement around your home to give you a personal home defense plan, or a system, if you will. So you can place these items at various locations around your home, and it ensures that no matter where you are in your home at any given time, you have some reinforcements, if you will, that you can go to. So if you hear a bump in the night at the other end of the house, and your gun safe's in the basement, it gives you an option. You don't have to go to the gun safe necessarily.
So now the question I had, I guess, well, I guess it's kind of a two-part question. So first off, from what I've seen with Tac Daddy and a couple other guys that have installed these, are they prefabbed to fit like standard space between wall studs?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
They're,
So what do
the
you
mirrors-
do if you have like and I don't know, because I'm not a builder, I don't know if all houses are universal, but what if your wall studs are like 16 inches off center versus 12 inches off center or something like that?
They're all universal, pretty much.
The main standard is 16, and for a long time it was 16, and it was built with 2x4s. A lot of older homes had true 2x4s. A modern 2x4 is actually 3.5 by 1.5, because that's the type of a screwed up system we live in.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we designed it around the modern 2x4, because that's what most of these cookie cutter developments are now. The home I'm sitting in right now is actually old. It's a true 2x4 construction. It's plaster and lath. It's not drywall. And but the majority of America lives in a true 2x4 construction world. So that's where the mirrors were developed around.
Yeah.
And the mirrors are great for homeowners who have those types of walls and who can cut holes in their walls. For people who are renting, who don't own their home, or who are living in an apartment, or who have masonry walls, that's really not an option. And that's where the shelf component comes in with the tactical walls. So the shelves will allow more people who are renters, to have an option as well.
I can appreciate the renting aspect and having a tactical shelf. I look forward to getting one in the near future, because I myself live in an apartment.
Me too. And you just finding two studs and screwing them in, right?
You find and with the shelves, it depends. The larger of the two, it's you should be able to catch 3 with the larger shelf.
Nice.
With the smaller, you should be able to catch 2.
Now, so on a typical, like the traditional or the original unit, you'd have to obviously cut out your drywall and then remove any insulation, and then so that unit recesses into the wall. Is that how that works? Okay.
Exactly. And in a lot of homes, especially on an interior wall, you'll find a lot of times there is no insulation. It's just
Right.
punch a hole in the wall, and literally, I mean, you could kick a hole in the wall. You could get a 5-gallon bucket and you could kick a hole right.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
No, but you could kick a hole right in the wall. You could find 2 studs. You could locate them, kick your hole in the wall, and you just go from stud to stud, left to right. It doesn't even have to be a pretty hole, because once you've made the hole, you hang the mirror component up, the subframe of it, and then the plastic insert will slide into there. So it'll cover up the ugly nastiness of the hole. It doesn't have to be very pretty at all.
I mean, you could use a $5, not even a $4 friggin' drywall saw. And like you said, just kick a hole, and then that's the beauty of it. As long as you get your top and your bottom at the right angle and level, you're fine. You can use
and there's about a 3.5 inch margin of error even on the top and bottom. So
nice.
And that's exactly how it works. And the frame itself, the structure, screws to the wall through the front edge of the 2x4. And then as you slide the inserts into that cleans up the entire package, and then you screw that into the side edge of the 2x4.
And now, what are the actual unit itself? Is that made out of wood, or is that made out of aluminum, or what's the main body constructed of?
The main unit is all wood. The main unit opens and closes. That's all hardwood. And then it's got a birch subframe. It's a plywood subframe. And then the piece that holds the piece that you see with the Velcro that actually creates the pocket that holds the guns is plastic.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's more the concealment designed to be
it's not a safe at all.
Right.
The concealment is where the security comes from. The lock is to keep children and just to keep it from getting bumped open. And if you have a house fire, you're going to lose whatever's in there. So this is for your home defense tools. These aren't for your grandfather's heirloom, muzzle loaders.
Right.
Yet.
Yet.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, did you? I don't know if you guys have ever seen or heard about like the bed frames, where you're pull the mattress off and the bed frame or the box, like what would be your box spring, is basically a container.
2 big safes, right?
Right. Yeah. Have you seen those?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
But do they look like just a box spring though? If you lift the mattress?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
well,
okay.
If you lift,
because that's the idea. Is everybody looks under
No,
thinking
if
of
you
bed.
lift it up, like if you lift up the mattress, it looks like it's a safe. But the thing is, they're like, what, 300-400 pounds each, and 2 of them fit underneath the bed. You bolt them together, and then you fill them full of shit. It's like
There
they're
you
not
go.
gonna move.
yeah, they're not going anywhere.
It's like
All right.
once you pick up the mattress, it's like, oh hey, there's a big ass safe under here. But it's like, what the hell am I going to do with it? I can't get into it.
Yeah.
I can't take it somewhere.
Because I'd imagine every criminal looks under the bed for a gun.
Yeah.
I would think. I would. I don't know.
Only the big ones.
Now let me ask you this, Tim. Do you guys, without giving away any of your trade secrets or up and coming stuff, but it seems to me that some type of vehicle mount system would be very appealing to a larger market to be able to stow away a firearm inside a vehicle. You guys see that coming, or?
They do exist out there. There are people that make them, and you can find them. In my opinion, they're not done very well, but they do exist. If you really go look and find, you'll see that there are a few out there. We are absolutely fully considering and maybe even developing and looking at going that direction with a few other things. We've had people ask us to go that direction, and so we can't ignore that. We can't not go that way, but yeah, there's always that application. You figure the average American probably spends about 10% of their day sometimes. Depending on where you live and what kind of commute you have in your vehicle. So that's 5 to 10% in your vehicle. That's a sizable amount of your day.
Right. And then when you consider states that require a firearm to be locked up.
Yeah, well, who lives there? Seriously.
Right.
Why would you live there?
With the car thing, I would think almost all of them would, in general, have to be almost custom, because you got all different vehicles and.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I drive a front-wheel drive sports car, you're not going to fit anything in that.
You know how creative, like I watch all the Border
Is there
Wars
such
thing.
a thing as a front-wheel drive sports car? Before we go any further,
Yeah,
Wait,
I actually would say yes.
Hyundai. He's got a freaking Hyundai or something.
Hey,
Who, me?
GTIs, man, bionic bunnies.
Oh, I got a 07 Chevy Cobalt SS supercharged.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. See, it's a Cobalt. So you can put all the fancy words, SS supercharged with 24s and
300
supercharged,
horsepower, front-wheel
but
drive.
it's still a Cobalt.
Does 160.
No, honestly though, the thing and the tough part with the vehicle system is every year, vehicle manufacturers they change everything. It seems like, so the interior, like door panels, they're somewhat the same, and then they change them. So that's the hard part with that. It's got to be generic enough.
You see in some of these smugglers, they have all these crazy hydraulic things where you like turn the radio on and put the left blinker on, and then the center console lifts up by itself.
Yeah, but if
Yeah,
you
but those aren't mass produced. That's
Yeah, I know
those-
but that's what I'm saying. It probably has to be customized.
Mass produced like smugglers' vehicle storage.
No, exactly.
Well, you could
That's the hurdle.
well, what's that word? like brainstorm or conference with a drug smuggler and figure out how to build your units.
Well, you don't necessarily have to. I mean, you need to be able to get to it, right? And it's got to be secure. And 90% of your time in the car is in the front seat. You know, unless you're 16 or 17 or 18, then that's debatable. But so really, you're limited to your most likely and obvious real estate is under the front seat. And a lot of cars have adjustable front seats, and there's a track system, and there's rails, but there is some space in there that could be utilized. So figuring out how to get under there and make it something that's convenient, quickly deployable, and then also secure and hard and lockable. So, you know, you want to stop and go into the Italian restaurant, have a glass of wine, and eat a big old plate of pasta. You can do that, leave it outside locked up safely. Know it's still going to be there when you get back, but if you need it, it deploys very quickly. There's no secret there, I don't think. I don't think I'm giving anything up there.
Well, like in my car, in front of the shifter, the cup holders are just held in by 2 tabs.
You're fine because nobody is going to try to rob a guy in a Cobalt SS.
Well, nobody's going to try to rob a guy in New Hampshire.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And because they can't keep up. If you got 300 horsepower out of that thing, they're not going to keep up. So.
I've done a lot of work with it.
Is that a Cobalt SS?
Yeah. Well, unless you're in Manchester, so.
Just don't be driving around in Georgia going 90 in a 55.
With 5 pounds of coke.
Yeah, mouthing off the stone guy.
Fuck off.
That's fucking genius award of the week there.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Darwin Awards. That's what that is.
God.
If he hadn't killed himself yet.
Darwinism at work, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually I drive a 2006 Crown Vic Police Interceptor.
Nice.
Is my daily driver. Family vehicle.
Fantastic vehicles.
No, it's got that big problem. It's a Ford. I worked on those for a decade.
The other one I've got is also a Ford. It's a 94 E350 diesel 4-wheel drive ambulance.
Great. I don't know. I worked on Fords for, almost 10 years, including police interceptors.
Yeah.
I know what's in them. It is what it is. They did a job for a long time.
Now, I don't know. You guys heard it. Matt, Never Enough Ammo, did a video today. I didn't watch it, but the title was "Man's Charged for Firing a Shotgun." What's up with that?
Here's the thing. It was a guy who's now 23. He fired a shotgun. It was like his dad's shotgun at a gun range. He was convicted of being firing a firearm, like being in possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. Because when he was 19, he pled guilty to felony marijuana possession, and that was 4 years ago. It's like he never actually served any jail time. He just had a deferred sentence or something like that. It was barely a slap on the wrist, but apparently nobody told him, you're now a convicted felon, you can't be in possession of a firearm. So he went to a gun range and shot a shotgun and got convicted of it because that's what he did.
Who would turn it? How did he get caught? Did he put a video up or something?
I have no idea. I'm just hearing it secondhand from Matt. But it doesn't really matter how he got caught. It's still
right.
bullshit.
Right. And at 19, you really can't get it expunged either. So it's a
maybe
BS
he's
thing.
been shooting shotguns for a long time, and somebody just finally put 2 and 2 together and said, "Hey, you're going to jail for a couple of years." So, who knows?
That's crazy. Yeah, I saw the video, and I was hoping someone had seen the video and could tell me what was the deal.
Marked it for watch later.
Well, I hadn't heard much about the Ferguson thing, it seems to have kind of died off. What do you guys keeping on top of that or not?
I haven't been following it. I kind of just.
I've heard it today that they're going to do a big investigation into the police force of Ferguson and the surrounding areas on whether there's discrimination.
Yeah, I mean, the initial reports that were coming out were very not favorable for that police department. It was.
Well, that and they all got cameras now. These 2 companies donated them, so every cop there has cameras on them.
God.
Yeah.
You know.
I am all for that.
That's kind of a debate in and of itself, but I think that there's no reason not to have cameras.
Yeah, no, I Webbs is very passionate about his side, but I can't see there being much downside at all to that situation. So.
Or anybody else got any good topics? Anything going on in your area or?
Well, we got as far as a political front, we got a former Massachusetts Senate seat guy trying to get elected here in New Hampshire. Scott Brown is technically a Republican, but he's anti-gun, and he got booted from his seat in Massachusetts, and now he's up here in New Hampshire trying to make more problems.
Is he the guy that was like, he's got the old photos from the 90s or the 80s where he's like all half naked?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't look for half-naked photos of men, so...
I think that was
I think
Anthony
you're thinking
Weiner.
of the governor of California from a couple of years back. That's who you're thinking of.
Yeah, he seemed like a sleazeball,
I thought they had pictures
doesn't he?
of Scott Brown because he had a pickup truck and they were trying to really pick on him because of his platform. Now you're going to make me go look it up.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is he did this. He campaigned when he was in Mass with that pickup truck, and then did the exact same campaign commercial for New Hampshire, and both of them were like, "I'm a proud resident of Mass," and then he does the same pickup truck and goes, "I am really living New Hampshire."
Yeah, he's an anti-gun Republican, so...
Yeah. And he's got a twist, some kind of bad thing in his background. Something.
No, I found the picture I was looking for. I found it. God, I wish I didn't have to go find it, but...
Yeah.
Found
Sorry.
it. It was in an actual magazine. I mean... sorry, everybody.
Well, it can't be any worse than Anthony Weiner, right?
That's fucking bad.
Paul, you remember Dick Schwett in Maine?
No.
Dick Schwett. Yeah, and that's what he didn't put Richard either on his signs. It was Dick Schwett.
Hey, own it, man. If you're going to do it, go for it.
Yeah, right? It's like Richard Hertz from Holden.
Tim, I'm mad at you that that's in my browsing history now.
Hey, listen, it's in my brain, guys.
Yeah, he's the one that remembered it and brought
It's
it
in
up.
my brain. Screw your browsing history.
That is something you can't unsee.
I remember that's the only thing that stuck with me because when you say he's running now where? Mass?
No, he's running in New Hampshire now.
He's running in New Hampshire. When he was running in Mass, I don't remember if it was Limbaugh or some other talk radio. Somebody was talking about it, and this is what they brought up, and that's what stuck with me about the guy. So now the only thing I know of him is that's the dude that posed naked in a magazine.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I just don't want him to get elected here. I mean, even though the Democratic...
I don't want to get him elected anywhere.
Well, even though the Democratic wench is horrible too, but at least she doesn't try to... Well, no, she's voted for more gun control in the national scope, but...
Who's he going up against, Ayotte?
No.
No.
Like fucking Shaheen?
Oh, Gene. Yeah.
Provided he wins his primary, which I don't think he has. I don't know if they've... I'm not...
No, it's coming up in November for the whole...
Yeah, which...
Oh, yeah, I don't like it.
We talked about this a couple days ago, but just to kind of reiterate, as a whole, or I guess individually with the elections coming up, do you guys feel like it's more important to view the candidate as a whole, or are you strictly a one-issue voter dependent upon their stance on firearms and Second Amendment.
Well, I get no love in the comments of these videos, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. I vote based on the gun control aspect. I'm really a one-issue voter. That's because...
Okay. I mean, if that's what's important to you, then that's, you know...
Well, and given the scope of what's going on today, that is what's important to me. The rest of the shit, well...
Exactly.
The economy's going to get worse.
Anyway. Exactly. And, you got the same hand up either party's ass pulling the strings there, and you might as well get someone that's pro-gun. But,
exactly.
You know what I mean? That is a problem. I mean, to be in the position they're in, they're at a certain level of corruption, period. Because no one's going to be getting any of these places without having some background of corruption. So it's a lose-lose, unfortunately. So you might as well get the gun thing. And thank God New Hampshire, we've got enough, common, people that are definitely do the live free or die.
Well, yeah, the good thing about New Hampshire is before they make any of these fucking stupid gun control laws, they open it up to a public forum and they actually listen.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Having lived in Massachusetts for most of my life and then moving up here, I was shocked to find out that they actually listen to the people. It's kind of weird.
No, it is night and day from Mass. My God. I can't believe you're on the border. They're on the border down there.
Oh no! I'm up north.
Not you. I mean, I can't believe we border Mass. Period. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like wow.
Can we put a fence up? Can we get away with that?
Exactly.
And
then we've got ultra conservative. We got Vermont just to pacify us on our right, so we can.
Well, no,
take it easy.
We'll work with Vermont, and we'll just fence off Massachusetts and New York from Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire.
Yep. And Rhode Island, nobody cares about that. It's so freaking small anyway.
What would you guys call your little group?
What? I'm sorry. What was that?
What would you guys call your little group of states? Like, would you be the official New England, and they would be?
Oh yeah, we're New England.
North Texas.
Yeah, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts is New England, not New York and Jersey. All that bullshit. That's the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, but
that's my opinion, right?
What would we call this? I don't know.
It's New England.
No, but if we were fence off our 3 states.
I see what you're saying.
Northeast free states.
Yeah, the freeze. Yeah, right. Hell, we don't even have it. We're the only state without a seatbelt law still.
Yeah.
Awesome. People get in my car like, there's no seatbelt law. They're like, what? Like, yeah, and that's a radar detector.
Yeah, once you get down to Massachusetts, from Massachusetts to pretty much D.C. is where you get all the East Coast anti-gun states. So,
minus Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, minus Pennsylvania. That's right. You guys don't really count. They're kind of tucked off there.
Pennsyltucky.
Never heard that one.
So did any of you guys watch the new Noir?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've actually unsubbed his channel.
Jacob, you saw it?
No, I've actually unsubscribed from his channel. I just didn't like watching it anymore.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much.
I didn't see the newest one.
I don't like the format. I like the old format.
They started getting longer and just kind of weirder. But was there one this week? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. There's a new one. It's the second
like
phase.
Number 5 or something.
Videos are now like 20 minutes, so they're not getting longer and longer. I think they've settled.
Well, that was I don't know if that's going to stay that way because they never had like the episodes from last season. Some of them would be 28, some of them would be 42. So, you know what I mean? There was no consistency in the actual time anyway. But I don't know.
I assume you're talking about the YouTube personality that the NRA picked up.
Right, Colion Noir.
Okay.
Now, I mean, I don't want to be critical of because at least it's going to appeal to someone, and at least it's putting good pro-gun content out there for people that may not otherwise be exposed to that kind of stuff. So from that aspect, I don't want to criticize the show or anything like that, but to me, it's just this episode seemed a little forced, a little corny.
That show, I've never seen it, but I'm going to guess it's not for the people that are sitting here right now.
No, it's
exactly.
not.
It's
we've already made up our minds, and we know where we stand, and that's cool. But I think, like you just pointed out,
trying to win the hearts and minds.
I mean, this is like
he's going to win the hearts and minds of a lot of other people that need to be won.
Well, he's. It looks like they're really trying to go after like the athletes who don't play sports anymore but want to do something physical and shoot.
Oh, you mean everybody?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
To me, it seems like if you were kind of a pro-gun group, this would be for them. It's just so like out of touch for what I feel. I don't know. It's definitely a certain demographic, and great for that demographic. But it's such a, I don't know, specific kind of setup.
It almost seems like, as bad as this is going to sound, it almost seems like the 1% of gun shows.
Yeah.
Like that top 1%. It's really upper class people.
Right.
Who are
and then, like I said, you can't fault them for that because that's going to appeal to someone, and
well, it appeals to him. I mean, he's a lawyer who's done well, and that's what he likes, and it makes sense.
And
let's
think about it. No, not at all.
You can fault him for like doing gun stuff about like the way he cares and doing it the way it would interest him. It's like that's what everybody always says. Oh, if you're going to do a YouTube channel, do it in a way that interests you. That
right,
way
exactly. Yeah, because you can't appeal to everybody. I mean, if you tried to make everybody happy, you'd piss some people off. There's no way to make everybody happy across all platforms and all audiences. So, that's a no-brainer there. But I will credit him for bringing some of the hottest chicks on there to
I make everybody happy, Stone Guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm sure somewhere some guy's sick of fucking him.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, it's the truth.
I mean, Amy's looking good. That girl they had on tonight, or this last episode, was pretty smoking. All of them. I think it relates to, I think, any product across the board when you talk about a retail marketing environment. Sex sells. Think of all the ads for, perfumes and sports bras and running shoes. It's all very sexual.
So, guy, how many sports bras do you buy for your personal use in a given 12-month period?
None for my use, but I'm saying it's just there's sexual innuendo strewn across all.
That's a common misconception. It's like you put some sex stuff in some stuff. Like you put some sex stuff in advertising. To some level, it will increase your sales a little bit because it's just more visually appealing. But it doesn't take very long before you have so much in there that it actually turns people off your product. It's like it's not, and of course for different people it changes. So like for a lot of people,
if you're Mormon maybe, but
no, not just Mormon. It's like for real. Are you saying that you've never been like watching a commercial and you're thinking, man, it's like there's
too many titties
shaking their tits and grinding on my TV, and it's like, yeah, I like watching that, but I'm not gonna buy your shit. It's like,
and then you can only watch it for so long.
I can honestly say I've never seen some titties on.
Imagine a normal non-Stone Guy person. don't just think about yourself. Think about a normal individual.
I think if the product was shit, then it wouldn't matter how many titties you had selling it and pushing the product. If it's a bad product, people are going to find out it's a bad product. But I think a good product with a hot woman, displaying it or advertising it, I think that's going to...
Well, if it's a good product, you don't need tits to sell it. Word of mouth will sell it for you.
For the record,
in that first guy.
The only tits that I've really shown are mine. And it's very possible that that's what's bringing people in. But I'd like to think it's not.
There you go.
You never know. You know? Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Obviously.
No pun intended, of course.
Uh-huh.
That's too funny.
So what else you got, Stone?
I don't know, man.
You want me to re-advertise the fact that the Nate Square Pro holster for the P226 works for the 227?
Do it.
Lovely.
I think you should.
I love Nate Squared. I've got they were one of the first ones to get me a holster from my Smith & Wesson, the M&P, and matter of fact, I just talked to the guys not too long ago because I got the new Glock 41, and I'm looking for a holster for that thing. Obviously, the 17s or the 22 frames will fit, but I want something made for the 41.
Right. Well, that was the thing. The holster that they sent me, which big thanks to them, is set up for the 226 and 229, which the 227's almost the same. As far as the frame and slide go, it's the same. So here it is, and it works great. And now they can add that to their website.
I mean, Crossbreed did that to me. I bought a specific XD9 subcompact, hybrid, and they're like $79, and it was still the service model mold, not the subcompact. And it fits almost the same, but they are different size frames. Slides. So it's kind of sometimes that's what you get. But it works fine. In fact, the SIG 2022 fits in there as well.
Right. Now, see,
it's just amazing that they, it's an $80 deal, and it's like, oh, well, we'll just use the service model.
Yeah. Well, that was a nice thing when SIG produced the 227. They left the frame, trigger guard, and slide the same as the 226, and it really only changed the grip. So. But yeah, I don't know. I do have the original tuckable version from Nate Squared as well. I don't really like it.
I've never actually tried to tuck a shirt in between the clips and the gun and all that stuff.
Well, the problem is with this, it is elastic. So obviously, once you draw, reholstering this is a fucking nightmare.
Oh God, yeah, it's a non-existent.
And like I said, it's elastic. So the whole gun can move and flex with your body. And with having a big, heavy 45, I don't really like that. That's my personal taste. Some people may like it. I have no idea. But for me, it's not. It's just not going to do the job I want it to do. But the nice thing is I'm going to take it down to my cousin's house this weekend, and I'm going to see how many of his handguns I can fit in that thing, so I know what actually fits in it, because why not?
Well, that's the thing about I've tried some inside the waistband holsters from a lot of different companies, and they're fantastic holsters like Nate Square, Black Point, Raven Concealment. They're all great companies, but I just could never get used to having something, like between me and my, the inside of my pants, because typically you'd have to get, you'd have to buy a size or two bigger in pants to, allow room for your pistol. And
I found it very intuitive. I mean, I started carrying a few years ago, and then went right to the inside the waistband with the Crossbreed, and I found that it was not a problem at all. I gained a little weight, and it became a little bit of an issue just because of my pant size. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with it at all. I mean, yeah. I could lay on the couch with it on. Seriously.
Oh, I do that. Since I got this holster 4 days ago, and I've made sure to wear it every day, so I got a really good opinion on it. And it works for me. Now, the nice thing is that my waist is actually in between sizes, so I have to buy pants that are a little bit too big, so I don't have that issue.
Yep, I just ordered some bigger ones last night, so we'll see if we can solve that problem. You just give in and just get the size 36. Just
Oh, quit! Like you haven't been a 36 and.
Dude, you want me to whip my pants out and show you right now? I just went from 34 to 36.
Christ, I haven't fucking been at 34 in probably a decade.
I got a gut right above it, but that's what my size is.
That's your new name.
You got Dunlap disease. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
Where
your belly Dunlapped over your belt?
No, it ain't like that yet. I can still see my penis. That's great.
Okay.
If that actually becomes an issue, it's definitely not good.
Too far.
I would not like to be someone that could not see that.
I think that's definitely a judge of when you need to start going back to the gym. If there's ever a day where you look down and can't
that's a personal responsibility to yourself, I think.
Like, your dick disappears. You need to hit the gym, buddy. But that's the thing for me. I don't want to have to buy larger pants just to be able to carry inside the waistband. To me that just didn't make any sense. Especially if it's basically you'd be talking about buying a whole new wardrobe and pants because you can carry every day. And that's why I like the outside waistband, especially like a paddle holster type deal where you could just clip it in.
But it does, I could just wear a T-shirt and not a very big one with inside the waistband, and it's gone.
Right.
Whereas outside the waistband, I don't care, but it's definitely more viewable that, you can tell.
Yeah. Well, at least...
Have you guys ever tried to... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, see, depending on where you live, the imprinting laws, an outside the waistband doesn't become an option. Even though I imprint a little bit with mine, but
yeah, and see that
up
to
here
me,
it doesn't matter.
That to me is the most retarded. Like if you have a license to carry concealed, or you know what I mean, like regardless, I don't understand why they make these amendment or addendums to the law and have these arbitrary stipulations that say, well, all right, you can carry concealed, but if your shirt comes up and it's exposed, then you're in violation of the law.
Are you looking for logic in a gun law?
Say it again.
Are you looking for logic in a gun law?
Yeah, right.
Or that's your problem. You need to stop and you need to realize what you're doing.
But see, I carry this little P238 a lot, and I just got this little guy off of a guy on eBay for like $25, and it's super simple. And it's for inside the waistband. This thing is great, and it's so tiny, obviously. But that's all I have to deal with. You definitely don't need to get bigger pants to wear that thing.
I was just going to say, if you've never tried appendix carrying, like try it for a week.
I'm going to try it with this, but it just seems to jab that belly.
Well, that is an issue. And if that's an issue, you just can't deal with it, then yeah, you need to go ahead and go for something else. But I literally, I wear the same pants when I'm not carrying as I do when I'm carrying, and they aren't any tighter, they aren't any looser. It's like, okay, they are just a tiny bit, but not even a size, not even half a size. So I will recommend appendix carry if you do, or if you don't want to buy a whole new set of pants just to carry your gun in, because if you think about your body as a cross section from the top down, it's kind of oval shaped. Well, most of the time.
Yeah, you should really
if you're even halfway oval shaped, you can fit something here in the front on the flat side. You can round that out just a little bit with the imprint of a gun, a lot easier than you can try and stretch the whole thing out by putting a gun on the side. I've actually tried to put this holster on my 3 or 4 o'clock before, with the pants that I appendix it in, and it's too tight and I can't fit it in. But it's then I'll just put it down in the front of my pants and it totally disappears.
Yeah, see, I'm too fat to appendix carry. It just doesn't work. That's why I carry on my 3, and because I'm fat, it hides away. Which I actually put the holster back in my pocket, so I'll show you guys real quick.
I do 3 and 4 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a small guy by any means. I'm a big boy. I come from.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, this is where it rides all day. And the second I cover it up, it barely imprints right by my forearm.
Exactly. And if that was outside the waistband, it would print way more. It would just like tent out.
See, that imprint is like twice as bad as I ever imprint with this, and that's when I'm wearing like shirts that are kind of a smeedy.
But I'm fat. My love handle pushes the gun out.
Dude, I've got them too.
Like seriously, that's
why
I
don't stack a gun on top of them. I put it somewhere else, so it's not on top of my leg.
Oh, trust me, it would be worse if I were to try to carry up front, and I hate carrying behind and down towards my back.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, like.
Besides, this gun has a hammer, and I don't need my fat getting all chewed up by the serrations on the hammer.
Dude, I carried. Actually, this holster was made for a hammered gun. Well, I mean, it was double action only, so it didn't have a spur, so I guess it really doesn't count. But I mean, still, it was fine. It worked.
Now, since we're kind of all over the place, I'll drag it another direction here. But has everybody had a chance to see Jaeger's video and then the response video from Artisan Tony and kind of dissect what that whole thing was about? You guys know what I'm talking about?
I saw that section of Jaeger's video and I watched Tony's video. As
with every other thing we've talked about tonight, I have no idea what we're talking about.
Yep, I don't know either, so I don't feel bad.
So, well, I'll just kind of, I'll paraphrase, and it's kind of an overview. It's been a day or two, but basically, Jaeger had done a video urging us to support Red Jacket, the people of Red Jacket, not necessarily Will Hayden himself, but because Red Jacket had been bought from him and he hadn't been an owner of Red Jacket for quite some time. But the people that are making the guns and packing the boxes and doing that are just good, hard-working folk that he wanted us to support. Really show our support and our love, because of the, obviously they're having a tough time right now with all the shit going on with Will Hayden, and I think isn't it Hayden last name?
Yeah, it's Hayden.
So anyway, well then he made mention like towards the end of the video that he said something like how do you say it? Something about the difference between the gun community and the gun culture. He thought that the gun community was a bunch of political.
The gun community, but he
loves
the gun community.
Hold on, one at a time. Who knows it? Jacob, go ahead.
I was just listening to the chat last night, and they kept saying it about 1 billion fucking times. And I think he hates the gun community, but he likes the culture. It's like he likes the ideas of what they stand for. He just hates the individual.
Well, what he said, kind of, I think, fairly accurately was he in the sentence he was like, "So we need to support the people in the gun culture as opposed, and not the community, who I can't stand, by the way." Or it was along that line. That's how he said it. It was very close to that. It wasn't he said that he said the gun community, who I can't stand. That's how he said it. It was it, really.
So who said this?
Jaeger.
Okay.
So then I guess, I don't know if Artis, because he didn't, I don't know why Artisan Tony felt like he needed to do a video about it, but he did. I guess
Did you see the video? Strong Guy, Artisan Tony's, because it was mostly gesture, kind of jabbing at him versus almost being serious.
Right. I think he was just kind of getting at the fact of, is there a difference? Are we dividing ourselves again amongst all the shit that happens in the gun? I'll just call it the gun community, where we're quick to blame other people in the gun community. We're quick to criticize other people if they don't share our views. And so, is this another divide? Is dividing the difference between the gun community and the gun culture? Is that healthy? To do, or what? I mean, is there a difference? You know what I mean? you guys think there's a difference between like people? I guess what Artisan Tony was saying was like,
that's the thing.
Well, people that were like that train and the like people that take training and like operator, so to speak, like they're into the gun culture, versus people that would maybe go to the range and are politically correct about everything, but like to shoot guns. I don't know if that was the
words that he doesn't fully understand. He may be smart as shit, especially when it comes to shooting guns and how to shoot them right and how to shoot them well, but he is not a well-spoken individual. Let's just leave it at that.
Well, I mean, it's just like the SOE guy. I mean, like, you know, as Kevin was saying, I mean, honestly, you wouldn't really do that. He's only going to make it so far in his business by saying stuff like that and showing off his watches and stuff. And that's okay. He's entitled to have that opinion and stuff. But like you said, it's just the way we need to know exactly what he really means if we want to have an actual conversation about it. And that's the problem, is we don't know what he means, I think. Because I'm sure we would agree with some of the things that he doesn't like about.
Well, I wonder if he would be willing to. I wonder if he'd be willing to come on and explain it if he doesn't already do a video. I'm sure with all the comments
he would love to come on. I can't imagine we're gonna not.
Oh, he loves. I mean, he's been on several times, and all of us, you know, have had him as guests before. And I mean, I freaking love Jaeger. He's a straight up dude. Met him, hung out with him for a little bit. He's a cool dude. I just think it would be advantageous for him to actually
clarify,
break down what exactly he meant. Then again, he might just be like, "Fuck it, y'all take it however you want." You know what I mean?
You don't get it, man. You just don't get it.
Later, guys.
Look at this watch.
Later,
huh?
Oh, now speaking of that, dude, let's jump on him for a minute, because John Willis, SOE.
Look at that Timex watch. That's that YouTube money right there.
$25,000 Hublot, fucking badass watch. And John.
Well, I guess if you're not allowed to own guns, you might as well spend it on something.
He's a straight up dude, man. I love it. I love the way he just tells it how it is, says it how it is, tells people how it is, and to me, it's kind of to a lot of people, I think he comes off as a pompous asshole, because he has made, the guy has come literally from nothing and built an empire amongst the gear world, you know, and he makes a damn good living, and he makes.
Well, I wouldn't call it an empire. I mean,
it's his little empire, dude.
For him, yeah, you're right. He could be way bigger if he didn't have this attitude, I think, if he wanted to be.
Well, here's where I look at it.
Who are we talking about here?
John Willis, the owner of SOE. Here's where I look at it.
Camden?
Yeah. Okay, I've worked in customer service, and I can appreciate the way he goes about it. He gets some really dumb people who don't read the fucking shipping policy on his own website, and then message him, 9 days later, which include a weekend, so, 7 business days out of a possible 8-week waiting period. And they're like, "Oh, where's my shit? Otherwise I'm going to cancel it and refund my money, and I'll never do business with you again." And he just fucking tells them to eat a dick and doesn't mince words about it. I can respect that.
I'm fine with that too, but then I don't know. I guess
there's a lot of ways to handle that, and I can speak from experience when it comes to that, because from the time we started, we were on an instant backlog, and this was January 13th. We started with the backlog, and we let people know up front that there was going to be a wait, and most of the people understood that and caught that, and some people did not, and they'd catch up with us and they'd say, "Hey, where's my stuff?" And we did the best we could to make sure that the people were happy, because we were new, we were starting out, and we had to make sure that we could just keep them happy, whatever it took. And now, fast forward a year and a half later, and things are just going crazy right now, and we're at about I think on our website it says 4 weeks is what the lag is right now. And we tried to be pretty open about it, and we're trying to stay pretty open about it on Facebook. But that may even move further out, and we have to watch that because we're trying to bring it back, and we're hiring people to bring it back so that we don't have that. I mean, 4 weeks is a month, and in this day and age, there is that instant gratification. I bought it on Thursday, and I'm hoping it's here next week. So you really have to watch that, and you can go with the "fuck you, eat a dick" mentality. You know what I mean? And you can stay in your customer base is, 50 million people will live in the "fuck you, eat a dick" world, and you can operate that way. But if you want to reach out to all 300 million in the U.S., "fuck you, eat a dick" doesn't exactly work. That's why Amazon doesn't use it.
Right. No,
that's what I'm saying.
I get that, but kind of his point to the whole thing is that
it's also why I'm saying "fuck you, eat a dick" here, and I'm not saying "fuck you, eat a dick" on the other video.
Right. I mean,
also the fact that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, he gets most of his business comes from the military side of things, not the civilian side. So
right.
He doesn't really give a shit.
And that's the lingo, and that's just that's not even that offensive to them.
Right.
Is that the gun
so
post?
I get that.
Supposed to love and not hate?
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
All right, never mind.
It's been a weird robot thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the cool thing I like about John is the fact that he has gotten to a point, and people could argue both sides and say, well, yeah, you've gotten to this point where you're making enough money, you're doing enough business where it's okay for you to sacrifice a couple customers to hold fast to your convictions and your way of doing business. And then there's some people that say, well, if he keeps doing this, that place where he's at now, he might not be in the same place.
You will always have someone out there whose response and their interaction with you is "fuck you, eat a dick," and they're going to share that with other people. And you can only eat so many dicks. I think we can all agree on that one.
But now let me ask you guys this especially you, Tactical Walls, and other people that have been in the service or retail / business owner industry. If you have a satisfied customer, they might tell 1 or 2 people. If you have a dissatisfied customer, they're probably going to tell 20 or 30 people.
Here's the secret. Here's the formula, or here's what I know works, and I know this works. If you have a dissatisfied customer, they've identified a problem, and it's a problem between you and them. And if you can help them solve the problem, and if they can help you solve the problem, whether it's quality control, shipping, customer service, whatever it is,
their best cheerleader.
A good customer reaches, like you said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. A bad customer reaches 10, 15, 20 people. A terrible customer who you can fix the problem reaches more than everyone else.
Yep. Again, you're going to have problems.
I had a customer who got a product, and we were in transition of some manufacturing different, we were using different components and hardware, and his product he was so excited to get it, and when he got it, there was an issue. And I worked with him. I talked with him on the phone twice. We emailed back and forth a few times, and ultimately, all the time I spent in it, he wasn't very satisfied. And so what I did was I completely refunded him everything for what he purchased. I sent him a completely new product, and when he walked away from the situation, he was already sending other people information about us. So I know there's a guy out there right now who has nothing. He can say nothing but positive about me. He can't. If he says anything negative, it's a lie. And I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to sleep with it. He'll have to sleep with it. But I know he's sending other people my way.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at.
That's how it is. Like in our thing, problems are going to happen and come up, and it's how you address the issues that come up, and like you're saying, and those people become your biggest cheerleaders because you are willing. I mean, for me to spend 10 minutes with one of my owners, it comes back tenfold. They're like, I mean, I'll give all my clients my personal cell phone number. They don't even want to call it because they feel weird about it. But when they do, I help them out. It takes 5 minutes of my day, and then all the referrals they send me are like, yeah, they speak very highly of you. And I'm like, well, I'm just helping them out.
I've done some pretty dumb shit for just because I'm a normal guy, and people really like it a lot. And I mean, we've had people who these things have been birthday presents or anniversary presents. A lot of wives buy these things for their husbands, and they've asked, could you put a red bow on it? And you know, there's a lot of people like, where the hell am I going to get a red bow? But it's not that hard to go buy, 6 yards of red ribbon. Seriously, it's not a big deal. I'll eat the cost of red ribbon if I know that the experience she's going to get from it and her husband's going to get from it. They're going to tell everybody about that. So that $7 worth of red ribbon just got me the greatest marketing publicity you could pay for.
And now you got ribbon for the next time.
Yeah. I was actually going to get somebody a Cobalt for Christmas.
A car?
Yeah. Well, he missed all that because he didn't have his headphones on. Wasted joke.
Yep. See, must have been talking about me when I my cigarette. Come back and he didn't have his headphones on.
How many people are here right now?
We got 60 watching, and there's 5 here live.
This is the longest. This is the longest amount of time in the past week and a half that I've actually sat still and not done important things.
Yeah. These hangouts are very therapeutic. I
thank you guys for that.
Oh yeah,
I've been on vacation for the last 12 days.
That's right. So is anybody getting any new firearms, any new deals they're seeing out there that they can give us a heads up on?
I'm looking at a new deal on a nice Algerian jacket right now.
Yeah, right? I'm going to actually thank you for reminding me of that, because that's $49. Come on.
I'm doing the math in my head. And I'm thinking they look like pretty good Christmas gifts for all my employees.
Oh, there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, Tac Daddy did a little review with you a week or two ago, and that thing's got retention for I think like 8 or 10 pistol mags.
Yeah, I'm interested. I should go check that out.
Well, the cool thing about a jacket like that is, I mean, I know me, and I think everybody that's got a kind of a prepper mindset. I always keep a jacket in the car, just tucked away in the vehicle because you never know.
You're paranoid.
Yeah,
You're paranoid. Why would you need the jacket? You have a car. You have AC and heat.
What about when you change a flat?
I can't tell you how many times, you take the kids or the wife and the kids to a movie, and it's freezing cold in the movie theater, and she's like, man, I wish I had a jacket. And they're like, oh, you got a jacket in the car. Or just stuff like that, you know what I mean? So for
I know exactly what you mean. I took 2 full-size umbrellas on a river float on their inner tubes.
Oh yeah, just
dude. Sometimes, well, no, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, it was the sun, it was the rain, and when it got breezy, it pulled you down the river.
Exactly, because if it does rain and hard, and you're out there in a kayak or a canoe, you want at least a poncho or an umbrella.
The cool thing is when you come walking up to the river float with a cooler and inner tube and an umbrella, everyone looks at you like you're psychotic. And then 4 hours later, all of a sudden, you're a genius.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I put a freaking folding chair in the inside of my kayak, and everybody laughs as I'm packing it in. But then when we get to the beach on the river, they're all like, damn, I should have that. I'm like, yeah, told you. We brought up a little barbecue once.
The Boy Scouts from the boys.
Exactly. You guys sitting on that rocky-ass beach. I'm in the freaking chair. I almost brought one of those gravity chairs once.
So you say gravity bong?
Oh,
that's true.
here we go.
When you say gravity chair, are you
Well,
talking about
we
that lady
got
that
5-gallon
just
buckets full of
tied
water.
your
Wait,
Gravity
no.
chair.
Another use for a 5-gallon bucket.
Right.
Hey,
So once
has
you
anybody
shoot
ever
it,
has anybody ever made a gravity bong?
well, who hasn't?
I feel like talking to a cop about making gravity bongs might be incriminating.
Nah, it's okay.
It's more than.
I
3
feel like
years
he's
ago.
out of your jurisdiction. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, yes, a bathtub, a 5-gallon bucket, and a funnel.
Now, 2-liter bottle of soda. Come on now.
That'll work too.
Yeah, we did ours out of 2 liters.
Yeah.
Now, see, in my youth, there was once a gas mask involved, and that sucked. That hurt.
Oh, that's because you didn't have tolerance.
Previously, we only had the NSA and the ATF monitoring this chat. We just got the DEA involved in this too. So now we're being watched by NSA.
Actually, you're looking at it the wrong way. That's not the right way to look at it.
Colorado.
The right way to look at it is we are all now eligible to run for president.
There you go. Hey, it's legal. What is it?
Inhaled or not?
10 or 11 states it's legal in right now. So it's coming. It's not going to be long before it's going to be legal.
Yeah.
All right. Now, that's an interesting topic because my chosen profession, I hold a CDL driver's license. It will become federally legal when they can figure out a roadside sobriety check for it. Because it will never be legal until they can check for it.
Well, they can test now. I mean, they can test your blood for THC.
You hold up a bag of Funyuns and you watch for the guy driving to drool.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't...
Sobriety test.
Because if it becomes a legal substance, they have to be able to test for it on the side of the road. Because they can't charge a truck driver with it, or they can't make it legal if a truck driver can't use it.
Right, because I mean, yeah, you can't.
Truck drivers don't use
like in
meth or engine
Colorado
dust.
and Washington and Maine, you're not allowed to be driving under the influence, but it's completely legal to smoke it there.
Right. But you have to have a good, solid check for it. Like,
yeah, right.
For example, with alcohol, you have a breathalyzer. They need to have something equal to that for pot before it will become federally legal.
Unless we all agree that's just no big deal. But that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, because I need somebody behind the wheel of I need somebody driving 80,000 pounds down the road who smoked a fucking joint 2 hours ago and starting to get tired behind the wheel.
I still can't believe it's Schedule 1 of all things. I mean, even cocaine is Schedule 2. It's kind of funny. And in this day and age, they can't pull it out of the classification says no medical benefit. I mean, of all the legal drugs, it's one that's proven that does have benefits.
Well, that's why it's a 1. That's why it's a Schedule 1, because the other drugs like coke and other things, methamphetamines, they were all formulated for medical purposes originally.
I mean, they just threw it in there back in the 50s or 60s just to make one person kind of happy. But, again, it actually goes back to a friggin' slave thing, I think, actually. But Schedule 1 means 0 benefits medically. And how can they do that in this day and age?
I tell you, the biggest thing I think, not only for the slavery, obviously the slavery thing was an issue, but the biggest thing was the cotton industry, like the difference between hemp.
Yeah, no, exactly, because hemp was so much better fiber.
Oh, way better, dude! Like
so it
hemp
threatened to put these cotton people out.
It wasn't paper industry. It was cotton. It was paper. It was William Randolph first with paper, and then it was also petroleum because diesel, the actual gentleman who developed the diesel engine, who it's named for, his first diesel engines were running on hemp oil, and Rockefeller needed Ford to use petroleum products because Rockefeller. So between paper and then you had the DuPont family who were working on a lot of synthetics, a lot of different fields and things like that.
Yeah.
So you had the DuPont family with synthetics. You had William Randolph Hearst who had a huge interest in paper, and you had Rockefeller who had petroleum locked down and was working on deals with Ford. And there was at some point Rockefeller was pumping so much petroleum into a river that the damn thing caught on fire. And I don't remember. You have to look that up, but because I don't know exactly the source for that off the top of my head. But these are the few key things that it's where the name marijuana came from. Because if they tried to criminalize cannabis, which is what it was wildly and commonly known as, that was going to be a laughable proposition. So they had to demonize it under a new name. It was a big marketing and branding scheme. And I think it's turn of the century is where a lot of that comes from. That's the end of my rant. The end.
Hey, you know, we gotta have good rants every once in a while.
But and you know, here's the craziest part about all of this. I actually, and honest to God, you know, right hand to God, all that stuff. I grew up straight as an arrow, and I had the probably gnarliest bunch of friends in high school. And through my entire high school career, military career, college, all the way through to this very day, I've stayed completely free, clear of drugs entirely, like hand to God, and was never peer pressured. I mean, I know peer pressure exists, but my friends never. And to this day, I know people who smoke, and I have, you know, there's family members and friends who are recreational users of narcotics, and that's, you know, on them. But to this day, people don't approach me with that, and I understand what the culture is, and I don't agree with the way that the laws are written, but it's, you know, it's each man to each his own type deal, you know, and I'm not going to judge anyone based on it. For me, it's a matter of freedom, and that's where I have a real problem with it, more so than medically, more so than, oh, it's terrible, more so than anything else. It's just a simple fact of, if you want to go smoke a pile of gravel, you can try.
Yeah.
If you want to go smoke a bushel of oak leaves, you can do it. If you want to smoke a bunch of dandelion stems, no problem. But all of a sudden, just this one magic plant, there's a problem all of a sudden.
Right.
And it seems to be the one plant that also has a lot of positive benefits.
Yeah, right. Ironically, it's got all these great attributes, which is so ironic.
That's where, I mean, I'm here nor there on it, but I just, when you boil it down to pure and simple freedom, and same thing with the seatbelt law, because I'm a motorcycle guy, and though I do wear a helmet and I wear, you know, a leather jacket and elbow pads and gloves, I'm all for guys wearing no helmet and flip-flops and shorts and tank tops. You know, I'm not out to tell you what to wear. And if you can ride a motorcycle around with a kid on the back, why can't you? Why do we need seatbelts?
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Or school buses.
It used to kill me that school buses, I was going to say, didn't have seatbelts, and I don't think they do still.
Well, I can't drive around with my 7-year-old in the front seat of my any of my vehicles, right? It's not legal. But if I own a Corvette, all of a sudden it's okay.
Or a 2-seat pickup truck.
Or a pickup truck.
Come on.
Yeah, it's stupid. Fucking stupid. It really is just stupid.
There's some really arbitrary things that go on there.
Oh, by the way, let me know if you ever want to come up to Laconia Bike Week.
Yeah, we don't wear helmets in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
we don't have
to. Here. Unless you're under 18.
And no insurance either. That's the other cool thing about New Hampshire. You don't have to have insurance.
Even in the states that don't wear helmets. I mean, I'm just a helmet guy. I like my helmets because I've done too much stupid stuff on a bike to not wear a helmet. But I don't think you need to. If you don't want to wear one.
It's the opposite for me. If I wear a helmet, I'll tend to do more stupid stuff because I feel a little more protected.
Yeah, so that's cool. Like, we're perfect.
So for me, it slows me down. But
I'm a little bit more cautious myself without the helmet on.
Yeah, I
can. On a dirt bike off road, I got the helmet on, and I'm doing dumb shit like wheelies and flying through trees I shouldn't be going through.
And I think
wear a helmet skiing now.
I think that's the biggest thing to kind of bring it back a little bit to guns and just our rights in general is the fact that, and I think Yeager actually did a video on this maybe a year or so ago when he was talking about gays and just other things that society looks down on, that society might not agree with, and that people are quick to pass judgment on, but yet we would get all pissed if they try to take our guns away, but then we can, on that same hand, we're like, oh, but you can't be gay. You know what I mean? Like, if it all boils down to rights and free individual freedoms, and so you can't. It's kind of hypocritical to say, well, I want my guns and I want to be able to do this, but they can't be allowed to do that, and not just gays and specifically, but just other things that.
I won't speak on the gays issue or on any of that stuff, but I for sure think that there's and I think that's where the states, where that comes into. I think that was the beautiful thing about the system of a states' rights, and if you don't like something of a certain, there's 50 states out there, so you could probably find one that if you are pro-gay marriage and pro-abortion and pro-gun, you're going to find that state, and if you're anti-this, anti-that, and pro-this, you're going to find that state. Yeah. It's a big place.
In the gun culture or community, whichever one we are tonight, we're not sure.
What they mean? What they mean?
What are we? And this is going to come out sounding kind of odd. I don't want to say political, but what are most pro-gunners? Are they pro-choice or pro-life?
I was really hoping you wouldn't go there because I'm kind of the oddball as far as, well, at least I think I'm the oddball. I'm pro-gun, pro-choice, don't believe in God.
I'm definitely pro-gun, pro-choice.
Something
there.
You're Yankee Marshall.
I always found it amazing that the pro-life or pro-choice, again, choice, freedom. It's really none of our business what someone does to their own, what they're doing, and I guess it gets into the, well, now you're talking about someone else.
That would have been a better analogy for me to use than gays, because pro-choice, that's just that. It's your right, your choice, your freedom to do what you want to do.
But I think to answer your question, or at least the way I took it, the way you asked it, I think the majority of pro-gun, and I'll get to pro-gun here in a second, I think the majority of pro-gun in the U.S., I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the majority, if we took a overall vote, is going to end up being pro-life.
Really?
Yeah,
I think that's what the majority is going to end up being if you take a vote. But as far as pro-gun, the entire concept of pro-gun, I don't even know that I subscribe to pro-gun, because it's not pro-gun, it's pro-right.
Right.
That's
exactly.
true.
And it's not a.
They kind of force us to put it in this position where we have to define it.
Right. So
if you try to define it as pro-right, they're going to try breaking it down by rights.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, these are and we may have a problem with, you'll have people who, because you have people who are don't believe in God, right? And that's everybody has their freedom to believe what they want to believe. But if you want to look at the founding documents upon which we are established, the rights, where they come from, they're God-given rights. They're not defined by man. They're agreed upon by man. They're God-given. But if you don't believe in God, then
they're birthrights. Yeah, right. Birthrights.
It's a right of birth, right?
Right,
So,
and you can play with the wording. And that's just. I guarantee anybody watching this, I probably just pissed off 80% of them because I'm pro-gun.
I wouldn't say you've pissed off 80%, because you and I don't agree on a lot of things, but you haven't pissed me off.
Yeah, that's fair enough, but you seem to be a reasonable human being, as a lot of the people on this panel are. But there are other people out there who are like, oh, well, you can't be pro-choice and you can't be, not religious and fall into that category because I alienate myself by not being religious to a lot of Southerners.
Right.
And Stone, you being in Georgia, I know there's a bunch of them down there, which I've had long conversations with a couple of my
friends. I didn't know you weren't Christian Baptist. I shouldn't. You're like the devil child. I shouldn't. Hellfire and damnation.
Where's Nathan when you need him? He's definitely got.
No, I mean, in all honesty,
I tell you, Bobby Boucher, he the devil.
Yeah.
I just watched The Waterboy the other day on HBO there, or whatever it was.
That's the thing, man, and that's I was raised Catholic, and no, my priest didn't touch me inappropriately. But
hold on, there's a difference because I was raised Roman Catholic.
Oh, there's a difference.
It's the Roman Catholic Church that has all the issues, but thankfully I didn't stay in church long enough to get touched.
But the thing to me, and something, since we're covering abortion, we might as well throw in religion, and then we'll get to politics. Make it a trifecta.
Hey, let's hit it all.
But to me, growing up Catholic, and Sunday school and church and all that sort of stuff, as I grew older, I got to a point as I started to educate myself on other religions, and just watching stuff on National Geographic and Discovery and all that sort of stuff, and all these other religions, and I asked, I don't remember if it was an actual priest or someone heavily involved in the church. I remember this conversation distinctly, and I asked them, I said, well, so take Christians, the United States of America, it was, we have 330 million people, and we'll just say they're Christian, regardless of whether they're Catholic, Baptist, Methodist, whatever, they're Christians. Then you take somewhere like China, who has twice the population, and they're Buddhist. And then you take India, who has probably 3 times the population, and they're Hindu or Hindi. And you're telling me that all these other millions of people are going to hell because they don't believe in my God.
Purgatory. Purgatory.
Right. So how is it? How can you really get someone to believe that if you don't believe in the Christian God, and especially like Baptists are notorious, like if you don't accept Christ, then anybody that doesn't accept Christ is going to hell. And so so then you're telling me that all these other millions and millions of people from countries across the world are going to hell?
Well, I think that mentality basically comes from years ago, before the world, when the world was a much smaller place, I guess you would say, before it was easy to learn about things around the world, before the internet, all that kind of thing. You only knew what you were exposed to. And if you were in an area that was predominantly, one of those characterizations, then that's all you was really exposed to. And
I
if you
think that
told
still
everybody
exists,
who's
though.
not in your group, you don't know about all the other people who's not in your group.
Up. Right. But now, a lot of religions have a similar, God, so to speak. So that's how they justify it, from what I can see, Stone.
Hey, we can stop talking about God. He went to get a cigarette. Let's talk about something else real quick.
Love me some.
I think I'll have one too.
Here he is.
Oh, quiet, quiet.
That's too funny. All right, so we got abortion, religion, so we got politics.
What else? Gay marriage.
Gay marriage. I think, hey, if you want to get
with it.
pile drive,
I don't care either way.
Exactly.
On you. Now, I understand.
Everybody has the right to be as miserable as everybody else.
Right. I understand 2 women. I will never understand 2 men.
That's because you're a guy.
That's because you're not gay. To them, Stone, it's just as natural as what you think about women.
Well, let me give you guys. I'll give you guys a personal story, but I'll leave names out of it.
I think.
A girl I dated for like 3.5 years, her brother's gay, which is whatever. Well, the first time I met him and his partner was a little awkward, because I was like, first time really being exposed to the whole 2 guy thing. I got a female friend who's a lesbian, and that doesn't bother me a bit. Well, fast forward 2.5 years. Fast forward 2.5 years, we're at my ex's sister's wedding, and her brother's partner, I was in the bathroom taking a leak. He walks up, I'm having a conversation with him, and it didn't dawn on me until I walked out that I was just talking to a gay man in urinals side by side, and it didn't even bother me. And I was like, okay, so maybe I've finally learned to just accept all of that. And I was like, you know what? I really don't care what people do. It's on them. So.
That was your gay awakening.
Yeah, no.
That was moving.
It was
My
just
brother's gay, so whatever. I've just been around it my whole life, and
Gay people don't bother you as long as they're not inside of you. We get it.
yeah. As long as they leave me alone, don't touch me. I'm good. But yeah, I don't really care about guys marrying guys and girls marrying girls. It's shit.
Yeah,
Don't
right.
bother me at all.
exactly. Yeah, and that should have nothing to do with the government either. That especially.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is the government shouldn't be involved.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think does the government need to be involved when a man and a woman get together?
No.
Absolutely not.
Do we need to bring the union between me and her and the state?
Nope.
It's all BS.
You know, all that's for is a death
Doesn't
tax
have
they
to,
can
but-
charge you. It's a registry so they know how to track you and charge you money.
Yeah. Like, I don't
Well,
know.
The same thing.
yeah,
They'll make more money.
What was I going to say? They make it so easy to get married.
Try getting
It's
a
so
divorce.
hard to get divorced. I mean, they should make you take a class like I'm all for this, like mandatory like testing on marriage.
I'll tell you what.
like,
After my
fuck.
terrible marriage,
Oh,
I'm all for that.
yeah. Worst thing ever gone
Took me-
through.
Took me
I'm
in
8 years
total
in.
like 2 hours to get married, and it took me 8 months to get divorced.
Yeah, it's taken me fucking years to finally pay off the settlement and be done with it. Life-changing, life-wrecking experience. Horrible. Just everything about it.
I'll never
Piece
get
of
married
bitch.
again.
I got nothing left to lose, so I'm looking for someone so I can get like half their shit. Gotta replenish mine, you know?
I think that'll only work if you go the gay way.
Yeah, hey, if that's what it takes, you know? No,
So basically, you're just a whore, and
no.
get
If
paid.
I am not a whore. Damn it.
Or I'm sorry, a
Holding out
prostitute.
for the right one.
Long as you get paid, you're okay with compromising
It's
your
about the
morals.
love, guys. Come on, it's about the love, and not a dude love. That's for sure. But each his own, you know. Where's Quark? We need another perspective on this.
Hold
Where's
on.
Quark?
No, I'm pretty concerned that you were talking about gay men love and Quark
Yeah,
came
well,
to
that's what I
mind.
want to. Let's get someone's gay person's point of view.
Is Quark gay, really?
Oh, I don't know. There's a pool out there. It's a 50-50. I love you, buddy.
Oh, wow.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. Just kidding,
It's
buddy.
okay, Quark.
Whatever you're into is fine with me.
So who's going to SHOT Show this year?
I am.
I would love to go to SHOT Show, but I don't know.
I think the NRA show might be more
Pretty
realistic.
nice.
Well, I was going to go last year, and my wife pitched a fit, and I told her that I am definitely going this year.
Yep, there you go. Way to lay down the law. It's just it's a bad time of year for that kind of money to be laid out. That's the problem for me.
Yeah, I would probably need someone to bankroll me going to SHOT Show. 'Cause
Who's where are most of you guys located?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Me and Paul are in New Hampshire.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm about 80 miles north of Stone Gap.
So we
So 2 Georgia, 2
getting
New
there is
Hampshire.
only about
Tim, you're in what, Virginia?
Who else we got? Who else is still here?
that's it, right?
That's it.
Yeah. This is it.
This is it.
I mean, getting to Vegas ain't a problem. That's about $250, you know, no problem. It's the whole week of there, or 4 days there.
Problem.
What'd you just say, Tim?
Why is that a problem? The 4 days of there.
Yeah, that broke up. because I'm still getting divorced.
Oh, okay.
So I'm almost paid up, but I mean, I gotta pay
Fair
the
enough.
bills, like $600-700 a month, and
Dude, you realize how much money you will spending a week in Vegas?
yeah. I mean, I went there in '06 with $2,800, planning on losing it, and I ended up losing 33. I was there for 6 days, but I brought that money specifically to lose, and that was back when I was making like 80 grand a year, and that was not a problem.
See, that's I'd like right after Christmas. That's the hardest part.
Just don't gamble.
I enjoy gambling. Let's not kid around here.
Don't go gamble. Just
Yeah, I'm not going to.
A round of golf is 120. Well, see, that is the one thing you got going. You're right, because if you're going to the show every day, really all you got to worry about is food and drink.
go to the show and then go to the buffet.
Yeah, it's about hanging out with people. So, in a way, you're right. It could be done, and I could avoid the casino if I had to. I just I want to be able to go. I want to be able to go and enjoy it.
Well, see, I don't really gamble. So for me, going to Vegas, if I were to go to SHOT Show, it's going to SHOT Show, and then like you guys were saying, food and drink.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, which are probably fucking $20.
I can get timeshare there, and I can get a kitchen in the room too. But fuck it, once you're there, you're not going to use it.
All I'm saying is that if SHOT Show or not, if you're going to Vegas on some type of show budget, you've got to be really disciplined just to stick to that show. There's so many distractions in that city.
Exactly.
Strip clubs.
See, that's
as soon as you get there, you're going to see 50 things out of
Nevada.
the go there.
See, that's the thing. I'm poor enough to the point where I'd have to stick to my budget because I can't afford to go over.
And I'm with you. And it's not. I'm just cheap as hell, and I've always been cheap. Too cheap. I'm like, there's no way I'm paying for that stuff.
See, I'm kind of the opposite. I mean, I'm cheap, but I also I lived many years beyond my means and still feel like I'm pretty good at doing that. So
Yes.
I spend money. I mean, I budget, I plan, I do things, but I'm pretty. Unfortunately, I'm frivolous.
There's a big show also in February in Pennsylvania called. The NRA just took it over. Actually, I think last year was the first year for the NRA.
Yeah, and I could drive to that. That wouldn't be bad.
It's the they changed the name of it. It used to be what was it called? It used to be called Eastern Sports and Outdoor Show. Now it's called the Great American Outdoor Show.
Is that
the one that
the Big E show?
Yeah, the one that something happened last year and they didn't put it on because
right after Sandy Hook, they decided all of a sudden out of nowhere that they didn't want black guns there.
Exactly, that's what it was.
And the promoters for that show were based in the UK.
And also promoted SHOT Show.
And they also promoted SHOT Show. And they were in a negotiation year. And when they decided where they took their stance after Sandy Hook, they lost that show, which was a huge show. And then they lost SHOT Show because their stance on no black guns, they shot themselves in the foot, pun intended.
Yeah, let's have SHOT Show with no black guns. Come on.
Yeah,
so,
good luck with
that show, it's a tremendous show. I mean, not to take away from SHOT Show, it's a huge show. What it's called now, it's the NRA's Great American Outdoor Show, and it's I think 1 million square foot. It's all under multiple different roofs, but it's one location and it's all connected. So you can see 1 million square feet without ever going outside, and it's a week-long show from the 9th to the 15th. But
what month is that?
February. It's the month after SHOT.
Oh, if it's early in the month, that's not bad because it doesn't get busy in New Hampshire till late February for the President's Week.
Yeah,
so that's something I could do.
It's really big, and it's big in that area. Usually, it sells out all of the hotels, and there's lots of. It's just
Where
a big,
in Pennsylvania?
Harrisburg.
How far is it from Allentown?
Allentown. It is.
One reason I asked is my mom lives there now.
Hour and a half west.
Is that like the Allentown from The Hangover?
I don't suppose it's anywhere near Shawnee on the Delaware.
No, it's south central. Harrisburg is the capital of Pennsylvania, so it's an hour and a half due west of Allentown, I'd say. There's also a big Cabela's there too in Hamburg, which is about 45.
So it's a gun show. So I mean, like a buying selling type of thing. right?
But it's
or no?
It's
Or
no,
like the NRA
it's not
show.
a gun show like that. It's like an NRA show, and it's it's
show, right?
yeah, but like there'll be a lot of big. It's the Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex is the actual location,
Hmm.
but it's exhibitors will be there, sort of like it'll be a very trade show feel. But there'll be a big outdoor hunting section. There'll be a fishing section. There'll be a guide section. There'll be a tactical section. It'll be all split up.
Paul, do you find any gun shows in New Hampshire that you go to?
I haven't. I haven't really been looking lately, to be honest with you. I haven't really.
Yeah, I guess there's like one a month down in Manchester, right? But it's on Saturdays is my work day, so.
Oh
Like,
yes.
I don't know how good or bad it is, you know.
Do
I haven't been to a gun show since 1991. Seriously.
Who makes New Hampshire's license plates? The prisoners still make them?
I think it's kind of universally that they do, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the prisoners are still making them.
I love
Yeah.
that prisoners make license plates that say "Live free or die."
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, how
that's
about
right.
the Washington D.C. one that says taxation without representation?
I got
It's like, all right, there you go.
I got something funny for you. In Laconia, New Hampshire, or yeah, there's Laconia. The county prison, the street that leads up to it is called Right Way Path.
New Hampshire's
go.
toying with freaking not allowing personalized license plates right now because of that stupid guy, whatever, that he got cops lie and they wouldn't issue it. So there's rumblings that New Hampshire saying they're going to not allow personalized license plate, which is a little bit anti-New Hampshire, I thought.
I thought that got thrown out and they had to give it to him.
It's too much of a moneymaker.
Yeah, they did, but now they're
I think
saying
Virginia may be one of the biggest.
now New Hampshire it's only $25. It's not like New York where it's $400. It's like only $25 here.
It's not
But
very
they-
much in Virginia either, but it seems like every
Yeah.
third person has a personalized plate.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Up here, it's like literally probably 70% of people have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's too big of a moneymaker. They're never going to get rid of that. It's
I
a
don't
big
do it just
revenue
'cause I don't want
stream.
people to know me. Now that I got that Volvo cross country, there's like
I've seen
enough of them
the
in town.
concept of if you get I1LLI1LI1LLY, it just looks like a barcode. Nobody would know what your license plate said.
Or
you
the
know what? I had thought about that. I wanted to get some mathematician to put together the hardest combination of numbers and letters and get that personalized.
Well,
I mean-
I've seen two plates here in New Hampshire. I've seen the 1I111, and I've also seen 8B88B B8, and it all looks the same at a
Because you
distance.
can't tell what it is, yeah. And that's
Yeah, right.
that's the beauty of that.
Unfortunately, I think here in New Hampshire we have plate scanners, so the computer picks it up right away.
Yeah.
I know we have the nice
Too late
annoying.
state.
Yeah.
They fuck you on that if you don't have it on there too, boy.
Oh, yeah, don't get caught. Dude,
Exactly.
Man,
My
I had
Volvo I got in 07, they didn't have even a bracket for it on the front. I had to get it like specially.
Are there in Virginia you can have farm use tags? Does that exist in New Hampshire?
yeah, we've got
Yeah.
agricultural plates that allow you to go up
Sure.
to 50 miles away from your home with the vehicle.
In South
We're
Carolina, they've
80% national forest up here.
in South Carolina they've got tags applied for. Is the other one?
They got those antique plates and stuff too. Those
Well, the-
classic and antique plates.
Classics you can only drive on the weekends.
And what is it? One of them you can only drive like a couple 2,000 miles a year. Like
Yeah.
antiques.
Yep.
But it's like the cheapest. So to register a car after like 6 years, like it's only like $150 here in New Hampshire.
I know that the New Hampshire non-resident concealed carry permit will allow me to go to states that my Virginia carry permit won't.
Yep. We got like what 28, 30 states.
Something like that. But I know if
Yeah.
I get it because I got a buddy who lives in Maine. If I get
I
the
need
out-of-state Maine one, I'm covered in like 36 states.
Yeah, I want to get the Maine one, but the Florida one seems better. But it's so I live 20 minutes from Maine, 15 minutes. I just didn't want to deal with it. Honestly,
Well,
though, it's probably like $100, and then seriously, that's money I need to spend on other things right now.
And on that note, no. So it's been a little while. I need to shut this down because I'm about to go to bed. So
There.
I very much appreciate Tim from Tactical Walls joining us and giving us some information on his product. So for any of you guys that are interested, go check out Tactical Walls. What's the web address there, Tim?
TacticalWalls.com, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we're basically on here every night, Tim. So love to have you.
Well,
anytime you're welcome.
I'm not every night, that's for sure. I'm few and far between and not very tech savvy.
That's what I'm saying. Is any night you probably want it. We're on pretty much from 9 o'clock Eastern time every night. Someone's on.
But I appreciate you guys letting me joke around with you about the buckets and about the cars and everything else. And
oh yeah, and stay tuned, dude. That video is coming. I promise you.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight and sticking with us. Appreciate the panel for joining in, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.